In this video, I'd like to talk about the math question of the day for Tuesday, May 9th, 2023. And with this problem, we need to determine which of these lines does not intersect the line y is equal to minus 2x plus 3. And intersecting lines, otherwise known as systems of linear equations, typically comes up in an Algebra 1 class. So at this point, go ahead and pause the video, see if you can work through this on your own, and when you're ready, unpause the video and we can go through this together. Now, assuming that you have attempted the problem, let's start working through it. And when we have pairs of linear equations, or I should say pairs of two-variable linear equations, and they almost always intersect each other. Since, remember, these two-variable linear equations, these represent lines graphically, and if we were given any two random lines, in almost any scenario, they will cross each other at one point. However, there is one scenario where the two lines will not cross each other. So let's say we have this blue line here, and let's say we have this pink line here. Notice that these two lines are parallel to each other, which we can usually denote with these arrows moving in the same direction. And parallel lines will not intersect. They will travel along infinitely, keeping this exact same distance between each other. So we need to ask, what is the key property of parallel lines? And if we look at the steepness of these lines, or their slopes, we can say that they are equal. So we can say that parallel lines have the same slope. So if we're looking for a line that does not intersect this line, we are looking for a line that has the exact same slope as this line. And this line is written in slope-intercept form. And remember that slope-intercept form is generally written as y is equal to mx plus b, where m, the coefficient on x, that is the slope of the line, and we don't need it, but b is the y-intercept. It's when the x value is equal to 0. And we can match up this given linear equation to the slope-intercept form to figure out the slope and, if we wanted, the y-intercept. The slope, notice, is always the coefficient of x. It's the number multiplied by x. So for this line here, we can say the slope is -2, and if we want, the y-intercept would be at 0, 3. But we really only need the slope here. And looking at these other options, we need to find a line that also has this slope. And notice that A, B, and C, they all have slopes of 2. The coefficient on x in each of these is 2, but that's not the same as the slope of our given line. Only choice D has the same slope. So if we were to plot all of these lines, A, B, and C, we would see that at some point they would eventually intersect this line here. And if we want, we can even find that point. Since they're both equal to y, we can just set their y values equal, or essentially their right-hand sides equal to each other. For instance, for this top line here, minus 2x plus 3, this would be equal to 2x. We just set their y values equal so that we can find the x value at which they intersect. We add 2x to the other side and divide by 4. And then we can plug this in for x here to find that y would be twice 3/4 or just 3/2. So A and our given line would intersect at 3/4, 3/2 if we wanted to find that. And we could find the intersection point for B and C as well. But if we tried that method for D, we would find that it's impossible. We would end up with something that doesn't make sense, namely that 3 is equal to -3, which of course is never true. And that just means that those lines do not have an intersection point, and that's because they are parallel.